This video is going to be going over the particulars regarding prime Engram drop rates and the power leveling system between 400 power to 450. So this is for Guardians. Once you obtain 400 power, this is all the exact conditions and drop rates on how you level up and what you're getting yourself into, because it's quite a sizable time investment. This video is going to summarize everything that I know about prime Engram drop rates, because these elusive prime Engrams are so important to the game once you get to 400 power, but there is nowhere in the game where it actually tells you the exact conditions of what the prime Engram system is. And I'm making this video because I have researched on Reddit, YouTube and a little Twitter and found that nobody really has told anybody on what the exact conditions of prime Engrams are, outside of a few players that have mentioned this on Twitter and flexed, saying I'm 450 power. But those people who have flexed saying that haven't really elaborated on this power leveling system between 400 to 450 properly, in my eyes. There's no content out there, there's no video saying this is how you get a prime Engram and this is exactly what it is. And that's what has annoyed me today. So I went on my own little journey and done my own research on prime Engram drop rates, and this is what I've found out. You'll see a picture on the screen with 16 digits. That was exactly 16 portal activities I done. To be exact, that was solo Caldera 16 runs. After 16 runs today, I tracked what I did and I got a prime Engram after 16 clears. Now, I have heard the rumours from high-level Guardians that it's 20 portal clears where you get a prime Engram, and I can confirm that is true after my research. Now you're going to say, well, why was it 16? The reason why it was 16 is because yesterday I was running Trials of Osiris and I got prime Engram in Trials of Osiris match. Then after that prime Engram drop, I ran 4 more trials matches. Then I went to sleep. Then today I got back on and I was annoyed about prime Engrams because, like, how does it exactly work? And I'd done 16 calderas, and would you believe it, I got a prime Engram. So I can confirm to you, prime Engrams are your main way of leveling from 400 to 450, and they drop after 20 portal activity clears, whatever activity it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Once you get it, once you've done 20 clears of a certain thing, you get that prime Engram to drop, and they are plus free drop, and that is the only way that you can actually farm power level between 400 to 450 for plus free drops. But there are other sources, and I'm going to go through it with you now and summarize it. So I've asked ChatGPT to summarize what I wanted it to say. So I'm going to read you through it. I'm going to read you through what that said, and then I'm going to go into the informations on everything that you should expect from this, because this is an important video. This Destiny 2 Power Leveling Guide Post 400 Power Edge of Fate Edition. Listen closely. Power growth after 400. The only way to gain plus free power upgrades is through prime Engrams, other finite plus free sources that are weekly. Prime Engrams and 3 power and plus free power sources. Prime Engrams drop from portal activities which are rare, not affected by grading A rank or B+. What ChatGPT means there is the grading portal system is nothing to do with prime Engrams. They are an independent source based only on clears. Drop rate 1 prime per 20 portal activities. Clan rank 3 may boost this drop rate chance. Fastest method, GM Solo Caldera Lost Sector, which are 3-minute runs if you ignore the bonus objective. But we must recognize that there's going to be 1-minute orbit times between your runs. So let's assume that is 4-minute runs total. That would make out between 80 to 90 minute prime drops. So you get 1 prime per 80 to 90 minute based on that. That's not including you going on toilet, making your tea, going to interact with your family, touching grass, whatever else you do. It's just based on if you look at your monitor, that's when you get it. Focus purely on completing clears, not on performance grades. Zavala weekly rewards are also plus free. He offers plus free drops, armor and weapons, but they are limited in quantity per week. Conquests drops plus 3 gear after 400 power, but they are only one-time completion per season. You cannot farm this for plus 3 power. Okay, next image. Arms Day weekly event track grants plus 3 weapon power that scales with your current powers. If you go up, the event track rewards will keep going up until you claim them. That's only for Arms Day. That is this week. I presume Solstice event next week will work the exact same way as Arms Day does in terms of the plus 3 power bonus. Right, now you've had that bit. This bit's the next. This is about flattening gear. So if you get a prime engram that's plus 3, so let's give you the example of me getting 408 gauntlets. Well, then that put me up, because now I'm 406, right? Which means I can get flattening gear bonus for my helmet, for my chest plate, for my boots, for my class item, and so on and so forth. So in between your 20 portal activity clears, you're going to want to farm base power. This is how you do it. Solo lost sectors, focus on grade A or B+. This gives fast and consistent drops. To note, you just need B+. Ideal for quick power base increases. Solo lost caldera, as we've been saying. Trials of Osiris is fantastic. It gives base power gear every match, win or lose. Win or lose. You can see I've got a full set of Trials of Osiris gear there, because I farmed it yesterday, and you get a lot of base power drops. And you also get prime engrams from Trials of Osiris, and it works on the same system. So 20 Trials of Osiris matches would give you a prime engram. Weekly portal event track offers base power gear regularly from portal activity rewards. What that means is your weekly and daily triumphs level up the reward track, and that has exotic engrams and such where you can claim for base power drops, which will up your overall account wide power. Now this is the final sentence. Kepler Mythic Weekly currently drops 300 power gear for me, should have been 400 plus. Community feedback is needed to verify correct scaling. What I mean by that is I done Mythic Kepler, and I got a 300 power kinetic weapon, and I was told on Reddit that the Kepler weekly missions are 400 plus power bonus. So let me know, have you got a 400 plus bonus from a Kepler mission? Because I haven't, and those mythic missions are terrible in terms of to play them. So I'm confused on that. So that's what ChatGPT is saying then. And finally, this is the time investment. Destiny 2 time investment to go from 400 to 450. This is based on the prime engram system. Estimated prime engrams needed roughly, let's say it's 20. I put in 30. I was sort of trying to think, from 400 to 450, how many prime engrams would you need? Well, that is up for interpretation. It depends on what slots you get. It's all RNG. You could get a slot that's not very good. You won't get bumped, but you could get a slot that's only +2, there was a piece that was higher, you know. Say I got a 409 heavy. Well, that's only a +2 drop, isn't it? Because I got 407. So there's all these variables, but let's just go through what it actually says. Estimated prime engrams needed. Let's say it was 20. Yeah, not 30. I don't think you'll need 30 prime engrams, because when I've worked it out in my head, I'm like, no. In a combination with all the weekly from Zavala and the Arms Week and Solstice, all of those upgrades, you won't need 30 primes, but you'll definitely need 20. I would foresee at least 20 prime engrams are needed from 400 to 450. So time per engram based on 90 minutes, right? So you get one drop for every 90 minutes. So total time for that, total time for 20 prime engrams, well, that will be 90 minutes times 20 drops. That equals 1800 minutes. I don't know if you can see it properly because I've had to change the... That's 1800 minutes, which equals the 30 hours. That's just based on that. So you would need 30 hours of gameplay time just to get 20 primes. Not to mention you'll be farming base power. You're doing your portal dailies and weeklies. So let's bump that up to 40 hours. Now on top of that, you're doing trials, you're doing conquests, you're doing whatever else you're doing in the game. So let's say it's a 40-hour grind, and that's probably what it would be. And that's just based on you staring at your monitor. There might be other variables in this where you're sitting in the tower for 10 minutes. You're sitting and chatting with your mate, which is healthy. You want to be doing that. You don't want to be just grinding the portal. That's just based on you staring at your monitor. So I would assume this to be 40, maybe even 45-hour grind from 400 power to 450. And that's where we come to the next point. Ash and Iron in, let's look at it. Rewards tells you, in 37 days and 2 hours, Ash and Iron will drop, and the 450 power grind will be available via portal activities, and you will be able to just level up quickly. So a lot of people are just saying, I'm out, I'm not going to grind this. What I would say to you is, if you don't even focus prime engrams and you just farm armor, tier 4 and tier 5 armor via the portal, you're eventually going to get to 420, 430 without thinking about it. So if you go for B plus gear, yeah, and you farm all of the archetype sets, so you go through it, gunner, armor, bulwark, specialist, grenadier, paragon, brawler. You need every single set in every single piece to play every single build that you want. So what I suggest that you do while you're farming prime engrams is you try to sometimes go for B plus rating and try to get some tier 4 armor at the minimum from some of these sets so that you can start building, I don't know, a Wishful Ignorance build, a Crest of Alpha Lupi build, a Actium Warrig build, and this scales up to every character. You're going to want different stat distributions for different things. So start locking in sets, especially if you've got a 100 stat armor piece, you keep it. So I've got this specialist 100 stat armor piece, for example. I've got this 99 paragon stat piece, and you're going to want to mix and match all these stats to get the right stat distribution. Don't look at my stat distributions, they're not correct. These are not correct yet. I'm working on it. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So to prove to you about some things I've mentioned, right, where we at? So arms weak. This does drop. Look, 409 gear. There you go. So I'm going to get some pluses there. No armor. There's no armor here though. Yeah. And the seasonal event, look, it drops base power. This is weekly. That is weekly. And the tower, I'm not going to load the tower up, but Zavala does have +3 drops that you can claim, but claim them smartly. When you've just had a prime engram, maybe farm up some base power, then go to Zavala, then get that, and keep a track on your portal activities on how many you've done. So if you've done 10 portal activities and you're 10 away from a prime, why don't you write it down or just keep a track of what you've done? Because the game doesn't tell you when you're due your next prime engram. There's no prime engram buff, and if you played before Edge of Fate, you would know that the prime engram system used to tell you when you would get a prime engram. The old prime engram system is better than the new prime engram system, because the old prime engram system was more intuitive. Your character would say prime engram buff, you are due a prime engram, and it was based on kills, not activities. It was better. So now we have come to a worse system on prime engrams. I don't know why Bungie has done this, but like I say, take away from the video what you want, but it's the 20 portal activities. So just load up Caldera, GM level, do it on GM level, and just load it up. It's B plus anyways, and you don't need to go for the grading for the prime engram drops. But if it's favourable to your build, say it's ability kills, then do it, because you might get a good piece. You might end up getting a nice tier 4 armor piece with good stat distributions whilst you're doing this grind. And like I say, it's going to be a while. The only reason to level up right now is for this 410 power. That is actually the highest activity power level in the game. Is Conquest Delve. So your only requirement right now is to get to 410, not 450. So at least get to 410 so that you can do your Conqueror Seal or prep it, and that's literally all that you need to do. One other thing as well is that you need to know what a prime engram looks like. So if we inspect the engram, and this might sound silly, but it's definitely not, because people are going to get confused over this. I was for a bit. Your prime engram looks like this image here, but it looks bigger. You will see on my solo GM prime run, you will see the prime engram drop out, and it's a different purple. It's a different shade of purple to this, and it's a bigger engram than the rest. If you're getting this engram right here, tier 3 red, then that's not your prime. It's separate. That's why I'm saying this system here doesn't show prime engram. It's completely different. Your grading system is different to the prime engram system, and the prime engram system only cares about clears. It doesn't care about grading at all. But what I'm saying is, whilst you're doing your farms, maybe look at getting some B plus drops, because if you don't get B plus drops, the stat distributions are 50s. I've tested this myself. I've done C grading Caldera runs, and they're no good for stats, but it's quicker to your next prime engram. Yeah, so there's a bit of balance between what do you want to do. Do you want to farm prime engrams, or do you want to multitask between prime engrams and tier 4 armor farm? And in my opinion, you should be farming a bit of tier 4 armor whilst farming your prime engram. That is better in the end, because when Ash and Iron launches, we're all going to be 450 power anyways, because the portal will update when that update comes out. But yeah, that is the information on this. There'll be a solo run for Caldera at the end, showing you my prime engram drop so that everybody's clear on what this damn system is. It's a high time investment thing from 400 to 450. My best advice in actual fact, go and play trials. It's super rewarding. You get tier 5 armor. It's very easy to go flawless. You can get to the lighthouse easy. You can do it solo. I went flawless twice yesterday, just solo, and I'm no PvP player. So in actual fact, whilst the weekend is up, do trials, because it's only 10 minutes. I mean, it's 8 to 10 minutes a match. It might be 8 or 6 minutes, right? Some matches you get steamrolled, so some trials matches are quicker than others. And you're going to get base power, and you'll eventually get a prime. I got 2 prime engrams yesterday from trials. 2. Yeah? So trials, when the weekend is up, you want to farm some trials armor, because some of the trials armor and weapons are cracked. You want to do that, but when trials is not up, you want to then go back to Caldera. That's my advice on this situation between the grind between 400 to 450. Hope you enjoy. Thank you. So here is proof of the prime engram drop being done from Caldera. This was 16 runs of Caldera today and 4 PvP matches of Trials of Osiris yesterday, because the portal remembers on the portal clear count. It's secret in the background. It doesn't tell you anywhere in the game, but it is counting what you're actually doing, which I would have preferred that the game actually told us that how many more portal clears do we need until our next drop. My advice is track what you're doing in the portal from now on when you're 400 power grind, so that it's psychological thing. It's so that you expect a prime engram when you get one. Keep a track of how many Caldera runs you're doing, so that you feel better about yourself. It's I've only got 5 more Caldera runs and I get a prime. Do you see how much better that is? It is for me, at least. That's a piece of advice. Caldera is best, and the reason being is because you can get amplified for free via the Mataspark ball, and you can set off the sabotages and run away. The reason why this works is because the shanks keep exploding and respawning on the enemies, so you can run away. However, if you get ability kills, do it, especially if you're on Strand Titan, because you can quickly get those kills while you do it, and you lose 20 seconds or 30 seconds, but so what? You might get a nice tier 4 armor piece, because I can tell you, if you don't complete the objective, you will get a rubbish armor stat piece at 50. So you've got to play a game here. If you do get the 50 armor stat piece, which is instant trash, that's fine. You're still getting good progress towards your prime engrams. So there's a fine line between not doing B plus and doing a C grade, or sort of multitasking armor farm plus prime engram drops, which in my opinion, long term for you as a player, you're better off going for B plus grades with the extra objective. So if it says plus 20 precision kills, do it. But I mean, it depends. You could probably do 10 C grade runs and then 10 B plus grade runs, and then you multitask in between it. Because on this run here, I mean, if it's ability kills, do it. It's worth your time. I mean, you're not really losing time. 10 ability kills is not a bad time investment. Whereas 55 combatant kills is. So if it's 55 combatant kills, I just skip. I skip and go for my clear so that I'm quicker towards my next prime engram. With the fallen bosses, you can melt them quickly. Be careful you don't get soft locked. Fallen boss falls off the map, you need to reload your solo caldera, right? But yeah, you can just melt them with retrograde or whatever you've got on. But like, you know, I'm just showing you this run to prove that the 20 runs is real. It's a real thing, the 20 clears. Now, if you have clan rank time, if you have the clan rank bonus, it might be 15 clears. I don't know. I haven't got clan rank level 3 yet to prove that. If anyone's got clan rank level 3, let us know. Is the clears down from 20 to 15? Is it 2 less clears? Nobody knows because nobody said anything. I think some people are gatekeeping information here, so we want to know that. If anyone knows, please let me know. But yeah, that was a prime drop. You will see, look at the engram. That shows you it's a prime engram drop. That visually is what it looks like. So take a screenshot of that. That's what they look like. And obviously that was a power bonus. That was the video on this prime engram drop situation.